So we're live.
Live.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for your patience. And thank you because Sunny and I were doing some troubleshooting. So thank you for waiting.
Thank you.
So, yes, before we get started, let's go ahead and clear our energies and take three deep meditative breaths before we begin today's, I guess, topic, right? So let's go ahead and let's begin. If you're wearing headphones, please lower the volume. All right. So, welcome everyone. Thank you all for chiming in on this live. So, let's go ahead and navigate to the viewers over here. So, I see not actually my name. You just walked out of the UPS office and you sent a little envelope.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, honey.
we like prezzies.
I know. Thank you. No more lies. You don't know. Oh, okay. I was talking to you earlier, honey. Hi, Shabaka. Welcome in. No more lies says hello, Sunny.
Hi.
Hi, hi, Nurse Moonshine. Hello, Manon. Wow. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm I'm really curious to know like what the energies are like because I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. So maybe you could shed some light on what we're going through at this time.
Sure, sure. So, is this where you want me to bring up the chart like that?
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and bring it up.
Okay. Um, this is what's called a 360-degree wheel that shows Aries on the horizon, which is the first sign of the natural zodiac. So, in this kind of chart, we're really not talking about houses so much. And what I want to concentrate on is the 28-degree Taurus moon opposite the 27-degree Scorpio sun. We're having a partial lunar eclipse today. And what we see here is the North Node at 1 degree in Gemini, about 2 degrees away from this moon. And Gemini is the sign of twins. It's the energy of one twin always searching for the missing twin, which is quite apropos for twin flames. North Node is fated encounters. So this opposition is Taurus Scorpio, and anybody with a lot of Scorpion energy, this would be kind of stressful. Um, Oppositions tend to bring karmic cycles forward. When we're in late degrees like this, 28 degrees, it would infer completion of karmic cycles. Up here with our sun in Scorpio, about 6 degrees away is Mercury, the messenger. So this could be a couple of things. When Mercury is this close to the sun, we can see in our mind what we want to say, but it's called combust when it's like this. And so what comes out across the tongue might not be how we're thinking it. So this would be sort of a caution to slow down with what you might get ready to say. We talked last time quite a bit about Scorpio. It can be quite stinging. It seeks the truth, even if that truth is really hard to take. And the sun in Taurus is very laid back. It's a fixed earth sign. So certainly being out in nature. Taurus rules financials and banking systems. I don't know if anyone's been experiencing hiccups with their accounts.
I noticed that the stocks were all over the place along with cryptocurrencies.
Yes. And so one of the things that has sort of been hidden, that scorpion behind the veil, is something called the quantum financial system, QFS. It is driven by satellites, and it has been running parallel with what we've known and used for decades called the SWIFT system. The prediction is amongst financial people is that the QFS is slowly taking place of the SWIFT system. The positive thing about that is it's considered to be non-hackable. The SWIFT system is somewhat of a dinosaur. So where we have Uranus here also in Taurus, that would infer new ways through the internet and computer highway. And the quantum financial system is just that. It's based off of satellites out in space, which is very Uranian. And this is about a new way of financing. So with this opposition, you may see more disruption with finances and banking. Things that were hidden may come forward. The other part of this tonight partial lunar eclipse, full moon, is, I know I've got a lot of lines here. I tried to make it as clean as possible. But from the moon, you've got a green line with a triangle heading up here to Pluto at 24 degrees of Capricorn. And so Pluto is all about rebirthing. So again, the theme of doing something a new way. This can be somewhat disruptive if you're very fixed about how you want to get things done. And but it's very positive because where this opposition can be extremely stressful, we have this nice trine that's Lady Luck. That's the universe trying to bring gifts. And from all planets, Pluto, which Pluto rules Scorpio. So this is very powerful. My feeling about it is to monitor your breathing. You might find that you're holding your breath or feeling on the edge of your seat a little bit because it's kind of stressful. But just think about this. Pluto in Capricorn is promises to rebuild things better that have been torn down. So whenever we have a nice trine sort of coming off of an opposition, it works as a release valve. It's like it takes some of the pressure off, like a pressure cooker. Like a opposition like this in and of itself is a lot of pressure. And we have this nice trine to a very powerful outer planet that releases some of that steam. So this would be a very good, for anyone that has 27 or 28 degree fixed sign, Taurus, Scorpio, you're going to feel it more so than people that are more air or water in their chart. So it's going to be kind of unique for each person, but in general, as an overall for the collective, I would say this is about changes with the way you do your finances. This could mean investing in something different. It could mean cashing out an investment. And with the Mercury kind of close here, it's receiving communications that have been held back. I see Scorpio as sort of a veil of mystery. And when you have the sun there with an opposition to moon, and especially the North Node, that's very, very revealing, very revealing. And the North Node really doesn't get enough credit for how powerful it is in our life. It is considered the finger of God, and always opposite it doesn't show on this chart, is the South Node. And the nodal axis, these are mathematical calculations. They are not planets or asteroids or something out in space. And it represents South Node are all the things we've done in the past lives, and are very familiar. We tend to lean on those things that are nice and familiar. And the North Node is what tells us to stretch in this lifetime out of our comfort zone, do things new. If you feel uncomfortable about, say, changing your bank account, or uncomfortable about making an investment, I always feel like we should be trying to stretch out of our comfort zone. That's how we grow spiritually and in our 3D lives. I cashed out a bunch of cryptocurrency this week. I'm a strong Scorpio in my chart, and it didn't happen intentionally. I started to cash out part of it. It didn't seem to go through, so I repeated the transaction and ended up cashing out double what I meant to. And at first I thought, oh, darn, why'd I do that? And then I thought, well, I think maybe I wanted to do that.
You know what? I have to say something about, because I looked at my cryptocurrencies, I think a week ago, and I think this is when we were talking, when I was buying a certain crypto,
Yeah.
and everything was good at that point. And then I think a few weeks later, I lost a lot of money. I'm a little upset. I think I should have cashed out instead of, like, but I'm gonna leave a little bit in there.
That's what I did. I left a little
Yeah,
bit.
just leave a little bit, but kind of cash out, because now I feel that we're in a very volatile market. And you just don't know what is going to happen, I feel like, between now into the first quarter of next year. But that's just my instinct.
Well, let me confirm your instinct for you, Scorpio moon, because right here we have Uranus, which is volatility.
Mhm.
It's in the sign of Taurus. It represents banking systems. And see this red line opposition up here to Mars, the warrior,
Mhm.
in Scorpio. Now, Mars likes being in Scorpio. It's the original ruler of Scorpio before Pluto was discovered. But this is volatility in things to do with computers, financing. I don't know if anybody listens to a channel called Monkey Works. It's Monkey, WERX. And he shows you how to read government websites to do with military movement and troops and airplanes. On the East Coast this week, there's been lots of fighter jet activity. And this
Mhm.
would be a good explanation for this right here, is sudden, unknown volatility. So they're
Right.
looking for something. There's been a lot of activity around Philadelphia, which in our founding fathers was very significant to our banking system. And so we are under some kind of mass change and adjustments. The good part of this is you see all these green lines are trines. That's the universe saying, yes, this is a struggle, but there's a little bit of ease there. You see this green trine over here to Neptune.
Mhm.
So that makes it a little softer blow, so to speak. And it's also making a trine to Mercury. So I feel like we're getting like little drips of what's really been going on in terms of our financial systems and the stock market. There's a
Mhm.
lot of evidence coming out about how it's all somewhat rigged to begin with. And
Well, I feel very similar to the housing market. So if you recognize, because I've been watching the housing market, right?
yes,
And so I've noticed that the house prices have gone up, like, I want to say 20 to 40%, at least what I think, right? Um,
mhm,
Pre COVID times, mind
right.
you. And who actually manages, like, the funding for houses? Okay, so that's something
Government,
to consider.
right.
And now people are indebted for this rise in the house prices. And now things are starting to trickle down. And I feel like the inflation is actually um, taking effect. And so I think that everything is kind of planned.
Yes, manipulated.
Yes, exactly.
Scorpio is very manipulative. This
Hmm.
Mercury and Sun and Mars is very manipulative. Um, and I believe this, one of the other ideas in astrology is that this horizon here, below the horizon is within us, and above the horizon is outside in our environment. So, this stellium, which is when three or more planets are in one sign, we have
Hmm.
Mars, Mercury, and the Sun all in Scorpio tonight, opposite this full moon. That's very disruptive. Mars likes to fight and argue on a personal level. People might feel, I feel um, that people in general have an underlying sort of smoldering. I don't know if anger is the right word. It certainly is discontentment um, with inflation. This is also this opposition also could rule inflation and not knowing where it's going, sort of off the rails. Um, I do want to keep pointing out the positive parts here with these Lady Luck trines, because here we have a positive trine to Pluto in Capricorn, which gives stability and um, moves very slow. So I feel like on some level we're being spoon fed just how disruptive our markets have been. And there's a lot of speculation about the market. And that includes those container ships off of the West Coast being held up, and this sort of fear mongering in the mainstream media about how if you do find a turkey for Thanksgiving, it'll cost you $80 or something like that. We are really in a time of discernment. Scorpio is all about using your instinct and trusting them. And
Hmm.
I think we're also in a time of don't believe anything and do your own research and follow your instinct for what it feels for you. That would be this trying to Neptune, which is in its home here. And Neptune, you know, it can have its problems with excess in drinking and drugs and denial. But when the higher vibration of Neptune is expressed, it is multidimensional, it's astral travel, it's the esoteric and studies like time traveling. Another interesting element that's come into my reality lately has been the changing of how we count time in terms of we've been in the Julian calendar and there's some movement to go to the Georgian calendar. I hope I have said that the correct way. And in essence, what it back in history at some point, the Vatican took 10 days out of our calendar. And that's what we've been living on. And this adjustment of financial system is connected with adding that 10 days back into our calendar. Supposedly after the first of the year, we're all going to, be enlightened by this. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know what's true is that this configuration of planets for tonight's full moon and partial lunar eclipse is all about discernment, uh, going slow, uh, taking your time when you want to go speak about something or to someone, because Mars and Scorpio with this mixture can cause arguments. Um, and if we want to be real, Mars and Scorpio is very sexual. Maybe you'll be communicating to your partner or something. I mean, it doesn't have to be all argumentative. Maybe you want to argue about how you like relationships. I don't know. I don't know why I'm going there, but anyway,
No,
it's
I was going there.
okay. Okay.
You know, I
You
what I
lead
was
and I'll
envisioning
follow,
was
okay?
like, kiss and make up, like, "What why are you angry?" You know? And then you guys would talk about it and make up. So anyways, go
Well, it's
on.
very interesting about ego, isn't it? You know, the ego is what connects us to this human experience. And this North Node in the sign of Gemini at 1 degree. I mean, 1 degree is an anaretic degree. It's a new beginning. It's scary and exciting all at the same time. But it also is about seeing things from a higher perspective, kind of getting out of the pride and ego. That's what these kinds of energies in Scorpio and the trine to Pluto do, is they tear us down to get to what's real, get down to the bones, so to speak. The trine with Neptune here does give us the fuzzy feeling. This could also be weird dreams. Uh, so I feel like it's all about what you choose to focus on. If you
Mhm.
want to look at, so there's studies that show that during the full moon, more babies are born, more murders are committed. You can ask any ER nurse or doctor, and they'll tell you that during the full moon, their ER goes crazy. We are also coming up on the last few days where Neptune is stationing to go direct, I believe on Monday. So it's
Mhm.
slowing down. That means we're sort of lingering right now in some sort of denial. I do believe that this opposition from Uranus to Mars is going to shock people out of that fuzzy sort of denial.
Mhm.
Um, and you can again, you can take it for how you want to perceive it. If that scares you and makes you feel real uncomfortable, then I would say dive deep into that fear, because um, that's what the North Node makes us do, is face our fears. That's why we tend to go back to our South Node, because it's familiar, it's comfortable. If you've ever had a breakup with somebody, it's almost natural to think about, some old love from your past because they were familiar. It's harder to think about, what someone new could be for you. Um, and that's for the healing time, until your heart kind of reconciles whatever the issues and lessons were. This moon North Node holding hands in hands in two different signs within 3 degrees of each other is extremely powerful. It is possibly meeting a new love. North Node represents fated encounters, the moon, your emotional body. It could mean meeting two new people. It could mean your twin and someone else. It could just, with the sign of Gemini, be who you believe your twin is. This is extremely exciting if you allow it to be and be open to the possibilities. Um, there is an old book. There's a couple of old books that are sort of fantasy books, like Neptune, The Lord of the Rings, C.L. Lewis books. The children go through a wardrobe and come out into a magical place, kind of like Alice in Wonderland. Well, that's kind of what this makes me think of, is if you allow your mind to be open and let go of any sort of hurt pride or stubbornness, because that's what Taurus is, the bull.
Mhm.
And one of the things in my research for this month's blog, I just kept seeing that this partial lunar eclipse tonight is the longest partial lunar eclipse we've seen in 600 years. So I went on the search to find out, well, what was going on 600 years ago.
Mhm.
The first thing that came up was the explorer Ferdinand Magellan discovering the Straits of Magellan. And what really I just thought was so weird is my first studies of astrology and talking about Taurus, it was always related to Ferdinand the Bull, which I think is an old children's book. And isn't that peculiar? Because Ferdinand was an explorer hundreds of years ago. So this moon north node is definitely the explorer in ourselves, in our emotional bodies. You know, what have you been denying is the question I would be asking myself. What am I scared of? If the stock market or crypto crashes and none of that money is there, what's the bottom line of that fear? And I think that sort of jettisons us into this sort of Plutonian Neptune world of multi dimensions. You know, what is physical money here in the 3 dimension anyway? On an esoteric level, it's associated with how we feel about ourselves, our own self-worth. If you have a subconscious belief that you will always lack, then that's what you will manifest. So for the full moon this weekend, I would do a lot of affirmations and positive meditations about being open to abundance, allowing the energy that is somewhat chaotic and disruptive to shake your checking account up and get some winning lottery money into it, instead of the sort of negative perspective of, oh, I'm going to lose that, or just like we were just talking about crypto. Yeah, it's taken a dive, but we're going to leave a little bit in there, and we're not going to get too upset. It's only money. You can't take it with you.
Yeah.
It's a product of this 3-dimensional world that we're in, and our relationship to it is directly associated to our own sense of self-worth. I also believe that this Gemini North Node and the sign Gemini in of itself represents the male and female within ourselves searching for each other. The twin flame journey is about the search for self and balancing the masculine and the feminine. So this weekend might also be not necessarily meeting a 3-dimensional person in your path, but within yourself, merging some imbalance you've been holding on to, stubborn Taurus there. And so Ferdinand the Bull, his excuse me, his symbolism was always, he just like hanging out under the shade tree, taking it real slow and easy. And so I do believe most of us tuning in and who've been brought to the theology of twin flames have suffered a lot in love. We've had a lot of heartbreak multiple times with multiple people. And this is about healing our inner emotional body and allowing allowing whatever the friction is. What did that person make you feel? Did he make you feel, or did she make you feel like you didn't have value? Well, Taurus is going to sit here, moon in Taurus, to make you understand just how valuable you are. And you're the one that has to see your own value. And until you see your own value, no one else will. And that's the lesson here. And when we're talking again about the Taurus Scorpio axis, remember, Scorpio are some very hard lessons. They're very want to get to the truth of the matter and doesn't allow for BS, right? And we don't want to be jived or played. And with the trine to Pluto, if you have been played or you have tried to play, Pluto is going to set the record straight. And this is very much.
Do you think that some people are going to get their karma out of this?
Well, this is definitely about completing karma right here at 28 degrees for sure.
So you would think that in the past, I guess, a couple weeks up to a month, that they're closing out those karmic cycles, and now they're at the completion of.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes, absolutely. And then with the North Node at 1 degree in a new sign of Gemini, This is the Fool card right here. This is stepping off the cliff with nothing but your worldly goods on your back, your faithful dog at your feet, and all the faith in the world that no matter what happens, you will either land on something solid or you will be taught to fly. And that's where Neptune comes in. Neptune teaches us to astral travel through our dreams, or at least be open in meditation to other dimensions. This little R with the X right here means retrograde. And I believe it is on Monday that, let me just get that for you. Okay, maybe I lied. It's actually Wednesday, December 1st that Neptune stations to go direct. So what do we have? We have another week and a half of, so it's already started to slow down. So anything that, an example of this would be disturbing dreams. So that could linger a little bit. And then once Neptune stations to move forward, those fears, remember, Neptune rules the anxiety closet. That's where we stuff things that we don't want to deal with. When we're talking about finances, we could be talking about taxes, insurance, back pay, lost deposits on things. And this is where we really have to dig down. Like Scorpio asks us to dig deep into our spiritual waters, because again, money is of the three-dimensional world, and our association with it is directly reflecting how we feel about ourselves. I know that it's very common for all of us to kind of associate our self-worth with the balance in our checking account. But you can meet people that don't have a dime in their checking account. They're some of the happiest people. I think of the Appalachians, simpler lifestyles, people that have not been driven in the system to make more money, more things, more material things. And this configuration here with the two oppositions and the trines is really about being okay with letting go of a preconceived mindset that we've all been grown up to believe. You're supposed to, get educated, work, have your place to live. If you're lucky enough to meet someone to have children with and have a nice home, you're very blessed. There's a lot of us out here alone that never had that kind of luck. So
I think that's for the majority of the collective.
Yeah, and I think that's because it's a very spiritual journey. It's not about compromising for superficial values. Like, it doesn't matter how things look to other people. I have a client who, her love of her life is probably 25 years younger than her. And of course, his family hates that, but the two of them are as happy as they can be, and they just don't pay attention what outsiders think. And that's kind of this energy, is not being too concerned about what the three dimension thinks, but that you're going by your instinct. Remember, Scorpio is the powerhouse of the zodiac. Its instincts are right on cue. And when you ignore your instincts, you are usually going to start another cycle of karma. And this is where we come back to the North Node that says, hey, you need to stretch out of that, comfort zone and do the thing that makes you really uncomfortable. I remember 4 or 5 years ago, I had a big job interview, and boy, was I scared. I had to talk to myself for several days leading up to that. And then when you get through it and they couldn't eat you, right? You realize that your fear is really a product of your own mind. So this energy this weekend is about really recognizing what is your mind saying to you as opposed to what is your spirit saying to you? Because Scorpio wants you to be spiritual and tune into your innermost first voice, is what I call the instinct. Or when people say, how do I know what my intuition is? It's your first voice. And a lot of times that first voice is scary as all get out. And that's where we come back to, we're here to grow. We're here to reach out of the old karmic cycles and hopefully not create worse karmic cycles in the future. But again, it's all about discernment and ego and pride and some of the human types of emotions. This moon in Taurus can be very, very much connected to material possessions and our sense of security. So I think another part of this formula right here, North Node Moon, is about, how do you feel? How do those material possessions really make you feel at the end of the day when you're alone at your table eating by yourself? Do those material possessions really do anything for you? Would you rather have, a simple, I want to say a bowl of porridge or something, but have the
Well,
love
I
of
had
your life
cereal
eat
this
next to
morning.
you? So this is about discerning what are your value systems. This is what Pluto brings into the mix. Is oppositions could mean breakups. There could be people breaking up over the weekend because of this trine to Pluto. And I think we touched on this last time, but if you don't share like value systems with your lover, it's not going to work. And it's very important that if this North Node is about meeting someone new, it's very important that you get out in front of that in the beginning. I think one of the most shocking things I ever learned about someone, and when it comes to value systems, my mother and I used to go to this lady to get our nails done. We were real loyal to her. We went regularly, and we got to know her over a course of about 2 years. And she would start to share things about her husband. And she at that time had twin daughters who were about 12 years old. And she confessed to me one day as my nails were soaking that her and her husband are swingers. And there are resorts in Jamaica specifically designed for married couples who like to swing and have vacations where they swap partners. That's a very real lifestyle for people. And that is a value system. Some people want open marriages or open relationships. And it ended when she was being abused by the man in another room, and her husband did not come to do anything about it. And that ultimately was the demise of their marriage. And the main thing that she was concerned about, she was mortified that if her daughters ever found out that that's what they had been doing for many years. So my point of this is, don't assume that everybody has the same values as you do about relationships. If you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart or Leo, you are steadfastly loyal and you're not going to have any parts of swinging. And so my point is under this weekend and these energies to really think about what are your values in relationship? What have you learned through going through heartbreak and the emotions of the past and with past people, and how many of the same person have you manifested just with a different face, right? And we want to stop doing that. We don't want to have the same kind of heartbreak over and over and over. We want to just, figure out within ourselves, this masculine and feminine energy within ourselves, why is it that we have not manifested the like soul who shares our same value system? We can manifest souls, we can manifest lovers. That's pretty straightforward. But manifesting that lifelong companion that feels like you fit like a sock or fit like a glove, and those are people who share the same feelings about relationship. So, and then when you got Neptune mixing in here, if you have relationships that evolve around drinking or drugs, you might not have a lasting relationship. It might be fine for a while, but again, that's sort of a denial or a false foundation. So this full moon to me, Taurus is all about security and foundation, feeling grounded, feeling secure. And 28 degrees getting near the end of the sign there is about completion. And I really do think that people will be making revelations, so to speak. They may be making revelations about a current relationship, or maybe the person that they thought was their twin flame. They may have a revelation on that front, and it's going to be different for everyone. Basically, if you have your chart, you want to look at what's happening at 28 or 27 degrees. And that will kind of put this eclipse where it's hitting for you. And again, I hate to repeat myself, but sometimes not the same people are listening. Anytime there's especially a partial eclipse, which is not near as impactful as like a full solar eclipse, which we're having around December 3rd, I believe. Yeah. This is more subtle tonight, this weekend. This is more the subtle emotional body. But we really want to embrace the soft part of ourselves and not deny, you know, that someone humiliated us would be an example. Or, yeah. So it's about being real. Scorpio wants it honest and real. And so, yeah, this is it's good stuff. It's, if you're on a spiritual journey, it certainly is going to challenge you to pull out all of your spiritual tools and your little toolbox, because it can be some tears involved when you're trying to reflect on old love and why it didn't work, and feelings of Scorpio will bring forth feelings of betrayal or resentment. And the good thing here with this eclipse and this nice trine to Pluto is that helps us release that, because we know in our subconscious mind that holding on to any of those hurts or resentments or perceived hurts, because I'm a firm believer that, you know, people are basically good and don't just set out to intentionally inflict pain on your heart. It's usually our heart has been broken and they trigger something so familiar that it just makes the dominoes fall again. And here we are in the cycle of, you know, oh gosh, you know, here we go again. But this nice release here to a very powerful planet of Pluto gives us the strength to stand alone if we have to for a while. You know, Capricorn is the mountain goat at the top of the mountain. It works very hard to get to the top of that mountain. And so it is somewhat of a solitary energy. And I think really still, while the last few degrees of Neptune being retrograde, there is still a sense of aloneness with the collective. And I believe we have to embrace that before we can turn that energy into an outward manifestation. I believe that as we get closer to the first of the year, definitely there's going to be an increase in knowledge and experience. And North Node in the first degree of Gemini definitely brings new people into our life. It's an interesting energy for people who are paternal or maternal twins, siblings. Gemini can rule siblings in your chart. So this may be a relative or someone you know pregnant with twins. So that in and of itself is always such an anomaly in the human race, right? And then here we are on, you know, twin flame night and thinking about a love of a lifetime, finding that person that shares our values like Pluto does. And
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio wants deep, spiritual, sacred marriage. No BS, nothing false, nothing superficial, nothing that is just because it's the way we're brought up to believe it's supposed to be. I think
Right.
that true twin flames probably are unique couples. They probably come from unique backgrounds or have things that are, um, out of their comfort zone. So, yeah. Now, when you see these red squares, these are 90 degrees apart. They're not stressful in an outward expression, but certainly this is what we do to ourselves. So I'm just going to kind of off the top of my head give you some ideas here. So Mercury square Jupiter and Aquarius. This could be stressful traveling. This could be stressed out over planning an unusual trip of some kind. This
Mm-hmm.
could be an unusual group or association of friends that you're planning or part of an organizing. Some
Mm-hmm.
reason what just came to my mind had to do with poll workers and elections. I don't know why that just came to my mind, but it did. So here we go. We've got Saturn squaring Mars. That cannot be fun. That can be a son and father at odds with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn is the authority. Mars wants to fight. This could be, I want to say, being drunk and mouthing off to a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when it's in Aquarius, it's unconventional. Maybe you're at I had a girlfriend a long time ago, got real into cosplay, the
Mm-hmm.
conventions with the costumes of comic book characters. And I know I'm not explaining it right, but that's a good example of groups involved in Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
It could be an astrology conference. I know one of the things that got me very discouraged from being more public with astrology is there's politics in that too.
Right.
you
I've heard that from other
yeah,
astrologers
you don't get
also.
away from the same crap that goes on in medical offices or real estate offices or you know um,
I think
other
every group has
yes,
its, you know.
right. And so this Saturn square Mars is coming up against authority. um, let's look what else is going on with that, because that young man Rittenhouse was acquitted of all charges today.
Did you see that? I saw that too.
I did not
Um,
see it. I saw the headline, but look here. So this is authority up
mhm,
against someone. I mean, he was a feisty little guy to stand up for himself. And so
mhm,
see these green lines that are trining to Neptune? That's done a
mhm.
soft landing there. That was Lady Luck on his side with that acquittal, is one way to interpret this. And please, you guys, don't take what I say for like the gospel truth. I'm completely just intuitively giving you some ideas of what this language can be saying.
Right.
So, but Mars squaring Saturn, that uh, the main thing I get from that are parents and children arguing. Um, the
I
child,
I was actually channeling that this past week with the zodiac
oh,
signs. Yeah, that so I guess a handful of the people they have to heal their family wounds, and that was actually across the board.
so don't you love when you get confirmation like that?
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting in how it's in alignment with what you're showing right now.
All
So,
right, let's look at this one. So this is the North Node at 1 degree Gemini, squaring See, I think they're trying to do the moon squaring Jupiter because that would be a wide orb. So in astrology, orbs are how far apart planets are. So this would be a 4-degree orb here. When I do the settings in my astrology program, I use what are called very tight orbs. I don't like to see more than 3 to 5 degrees apart. However, there are plenty of people out there who will use an 8 to 10 degree orb. It's all in what does your instinct tell you to do? No one can tell you. This is a language to be interpreted. So everybody finds their way to express it. But this would be the 28-degree moon squaring the 24-degree Jupiter. Now, again, squares are stressful, but they're not like karmic changes and big chapters in life. It's usually the stress we put on ourselves. But this square moon to Jupiter is feeling pressured to maybe the first thing I wanted to say is learn a foreign language or something with higher education. Jupiter is all about spiritual travels. It's represented by the centaur. He was the wounded healer. He had to experience the pain in order to help people get through their pain. So, and the moon is all about emotional pain. So this in Aquarius might be like an unexpected person from another culture wanting to argue over something emotional, or with Taurus there could be money, something to do with material possessions. And what is this doing? Let's see, 24. See, I wouldn't call that a square from the North Node to Jupiter, but some people might. So yeah, this is really interesting if you just like look away from it, and you can see. So the red lines are go energy, hot go, controversial energy. The green lines are ease and the universe trying to bring gifts. And I don't know how well it's translating here on the screen, but you'll also see like these lime green and little asterisk type of things. These are called sextiles. This is when planets are 60 degrees apart. So they are showing Mars sextiling Venus. So, I wish I'd started a page with 2 columns, pros and cons, and we'd come up with, actually this chart's pretty balanced for this weekend because a sextile between Mars and Venus is people getting along. This is also water and earth get along. This makes me think more of work-related projects or working with someone. This could be a sexual affair with someone you work with. Then they're doing Mercury sextiling Pluto. Mercury sextiling Pluto. This is communicating you're communicating what the hell is important to you. And then Pluto sextile Neptune is, wow, that's really intense. That could be some partying.
I do know that there's some people that are going out to some parties before they go visit their family.
Well, now that I think about it, we're coming up on a holiday week. Yeah. And, the funny thing about I guess we're talking about American traditional holidays because there's holidays all over the globe. But for us here in the United States, coming up through, Thanksgiving and Christmas, end of the year holidays, the thing that's a real good example, what I've been trying to say right here is society expects families to come together and get along and be happy for the holidays. some families, there's real good reason why you don't see each other all year long. And it becomes very stressful to come together because you might have different value systems. You
Mm-hmm.
might just have a bully in the family that drinks and wants to, you know, be loud and bully everybody, and it makes it unpleasant. And one of my dearest friends, her name is Norma, and we're just we used to work together, and our jobs have changed over the years, but we've always stayed in touch. Her husband died a few years ago, and we live near each other. And she called me up the other night. This is a good example of this now that I think about it. She called me up the other night. The Norma is 73, I think. And you'd never know it. She's very active. She still works. And she was just devastated because the part of her family that she always, I mean, always, even when her husband was alive, always spent both Thanksgiving and Christmas with, I think within about, I don't know, 60, 75 miles of where she lived. She was always making a trip to the road to go have this big holiday thing. Well, that part of the family has announced that they're heading to Florida for the holidays.
Okay. Did they get the memo?
Yeah. And she's just damn bent out of shape about it.
Yeah,
And
I would be pretty upset too.
okay, well,
So that
for
could be
me,
a part of the energies that we're experiencing with this moon. Is that correct?
yes. And so my first reaction, my first thing I said to her, because I've been without family at the holidays probably about 23 years now. I don't,
Mhm.
it's never, you never get used to it, but you just figure out that every year can be a different tradition and you can't stay stuck on how things have to be. And my first thing out of my mouth to her was, "Oh, Norma, the only thing permanent is change. Don't let that upset you. You want to go somewhere for Christmas? I'll go with you. We'll go eat together for Christmas." I mean, I've been known to eat tuna fish sandwiches on Christmas. So for me, it's not at all a big holiday anymore because I
Well,
don't
once
have.
you lived your life to a certain point, you've seen it all and done it all, and you're like, it's just another holiday.
And she's a Libra, and so she
Oh,
loves that social. She'll fix
yeah.
hors d'oeuvres, and I mean that's a big part of what she looks forward to. I'm
Okay,
more of a
good.
hermit.
Uh-huh.
It's more stressful to get out around a group of family than it is to just stay tucked in, especially when the weather's cold.
Mhm.
So this is a good expression of the part of the year we're coming into. If you feel stressed to travel, to be with family that gives you anxiety, this North Node is saying to you, don't be afraid to stretch out of your comfort zone. And like that niece of hers and the family that she has always gone to, well, that niece is a woman married in her 50s with a grown son, and they have bought a home down there, and that's where they want to go. And to me, it's like, look, they're grown-ups. They get to do whatever they want to do. And,
Mhm.
she certainly is free to go down there to join them. But, it's kind of staying stuck with, what so this energy is definitely about on so many levels, just going back to the first part of our financial systems and changes subtly, in a subtle way, dripping out in the mainstream with new ways of doing things, just like cryptocurrency becoming more now you're seeing ads where you can pay with your Bitcoin or
Well,
uh,
let me ask you this because I saw a YouTube video, and this gentleman was saying that the Federal Reserve was going to make a Bitcoin, uh, bottom out to zero. Have you
Well,
heard
it
of
is a
that?
huge manipulation, and the book that I was turned on to about crypto is called The Starfish and the Spider, and how it describes what we have had for a couple of centuries in this country is what's called a centralized banking system with the Federal
Mm-hmm.
Reserve and every transaction going through that Federal Reserve. And that Federal Reserve being manipulated by an elite select few of very wealthy families. Then the Bitcoin cryptocurrency is considered a decentralized banking system that has 9 gates, so to speak. For every transaction, it has to go through 9 levels of proof and confirmation. It's much harder to
Right.
hack. And so, what I think about, which just freaks me out because when I read about all of this, I never thought I'd be alive to start seeing it. But Megatrends 2000, a book done back, I don't know, 30 years ago, talked about we would get away from banking the way we know it, and it would become more digital, but also government would become decentralized, and we would have regions as opposed to like one centralized place. And we're already kind of starting to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see us turning back. And I do think that I heard an interesting thing about, how we've talked about the slow movement of the Earth's polarities shifting from the Mars 1,000 years of a masculine polarity. And over the last 20 years, slowly but surely, we've been shifting to the Venus feminine energy. And we're in the tail end of the Mars ego pulling out all the stops to do anything they can do to keep power. And here you have the God-loving goddess and Venus who wants nothing more than to love you for all of your faults and failures and unconditional love. And it's almost the thing between God and Satan. But how I heard it recently was that between the moon and sun,
Mm-hmm.
that the
Yeah, because what I was thinking was more feminine and masculine, and how twins are incarnated around this time to spread,
love.
the love and light. Yeah.
Well, I hope something triggers with the set of eclipses we have going between the first of the year that gets those twins that aren't on the same page motivated to want to stretch out of their south node, reach for the north node, and know a love that they've never had and that none of us have ever had. I mean, this is about being willing to let go of your ego and expectations of someone and being open to vulnerability and humility. So very, very interesting times. It depends if you want to look at it in a metaphysical way with the twin flames and getting in balance within your own masculine and feminine is what manifests that partner in your life. Or if you want to look at it in the 3-dimensional banking world, material possessions and security, I mean, all of it is connected. But I do think that this eclipse will trigger for those people where they have these placements at 28 or 27 degrees for sure, it will trigger a reevaluation of your sense of security. Do you need to have the big home and all of the new furniture and best car in the driveway to feel secure? Does that make you feel secure?
Uh, well, if you're asking me, I was looking at those big houses. I wanted to manifest those big houses, but then, reality kicked in, and I was thinking, what is going to make me feel comfortable? You know,
Right,
am I willing to settle for something I can afford rather
right.
than going after what I like? But I'm
It's
working on my
interesting.
manifestation this tonight, and so we'll find out.
Well, I think it's very interesting, and one of the really things I want everyone to embrace here is look how balanced it really is. I mean, you have as much stress as you do ease.
Yeah, that's why in the very beginning, if the ones who have stuck around since the very beginning of the channeling, yeah, I was talking about how unsettled, like, I don't know how I'm feeling right now. I don't know if I'm feeling good or bad. Like, I don't know. It's just like a tug of war kind of feeling. I don't know
Well,
if
there's
that's
an awful lot. There's an awful lot of so Uranus opposite Mars. Think about that. Uranus is electricity and the thunderbolt. Mars is the warrior and the pioneer. So just in our society and in our globe right now, doesn't that express what we're going through? Is a lot of upheaval, a lot of dissension, a lot of resistance. And this is a perfect explanation of Mars opposite Uranus. And I think it's important to embrace what's uncomfortable till it gets comfortable. I
when is
think,
that?
yeah, I know. Well, and that is like, I don't know, maybe a vision of these trines to Pluto. I mean, this is sort of an ethereal kind of protection. Um, I think it's all about what we choose to focus on. Squares, we tend to beat ourselves up under that kind of stress. Uh,
So pretty
uh,
much kind of go into meditation, take a lot of time to reflect.
breathe. Yeah.
Right.
Because a lot of
Mhm.
this is about shallow breathing, and that creates anxiety, and it's sort of a snowball effect. So, what Ferdinand the Bull does sitting under that tree is he just chills out. He doesn't do anything quickly. And my mother
Well, the
used to,
bull is kinda lazy too. I mean, I'm
right,
not alright,
right.
Taurus, so please don't take offense.
I'll tell you what Taurus is. It's ruled by Venus. And
Mhm.
there was an old movie called Tom Jones. It's a really old movie from the 60s. And that was the explanation that my teacher always gave me, was to watch that movie because it's very, very seductive.
Mhm.
Um, it's about velvety things and rich foods and fine arts and all the things that Venus loves. And Taurus is big and hunky and has a presence. Like if you go into someone's home who has heavy Taurus energy, you're going to see
Mhm.
a lot of heavily carved furniture, fine arts, velvet, and rich carpets. So if you can embrace that side of Taurus that is ruled by Venus, it's really very lovely.
It sounds, luxury.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
And then you've got it all connected to finances and material possessions. So another thing to do this weekend would be an art gallery or purchase a piece of art or make some art.
Mhm.
Um, take art you've created to sell.
Mhm.
And so it really, when you look at it that way, in terms of there's just as many stressful red lines, and in fact, there's actually more green easy lines in this particular configuration this week. Um, it's about choosing what we want to focus on. And the North Node at 1 degree in Gemini begs us to look ahead. Just look ahead. Get out of the cycle that beats yourself up or is
Mhm.
full of regret or pressure. I once had a palm reader tell me, don't shouldn't on yourself, because we all said,
Mhm.
oh, I should do this. I should, just like holidays coming up. Well, I should go see such and such. Well, I should, da, da, da. And I always think of that palm reader going, you should, don't shouldn't all over yourself. And so I'm a firm believer that life is very, 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 very short, and too short to do things you don't want to do, especially when you become an adult.
Right.
So, it's not, if your heart is like this moon and your emotions, if your heart is solid about, let me see, I want to go, say for the holidays, you've got a lot of family pressuring you to maintain that family tradition, and there's usually some tyrant at the head of the family dictating what has to be done. And in your heart, you're going, I really just want to go to the beach and eat a tuna fish salad sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
This energy challenges you to search your heart for what you need for your soul. And every time that we go and spend energy with people who are tyrannical or
Mm-hmm.
bullies, we're just stuffing away a piece of our soul that's going to need healing eventually. And I believe that's what carries on from lifetime to lifetime.
Actually,
Expect
I channeled that for a particular zodiac sign. So, from what I can recall, it was a particular, I don't know who it was, but someone who was being more of a sub and not being a dom, and the other person was being more dominant, and it should be vice versa. So, yeah, I feel like someone was kind of like succumbing towards other people's wants and needs and not for their own.
Well, I think we all know people and families that it's all about how it looks to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I know in my marriage, it was all about, from the outside, it just looked like, it was just great. It was
Mm-hmm.
miserable.
Right.
So this energy, and again, keep in mind, you have free will. You certainly can keep in the patterns that you're comfortable with, those South Node patterns. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I don't want to sit here sounding like a tyrant myself that you must, head to your North
Right.
Node. Yeah. I personally, out of my life experiences, feel like I've had to head for my North Node because everything from my South Node has gone away. So,
Mhm. So you
if
feel like you have no other choice but
that's
to
right.
face.
That's right. I walk off cliffs every day. That's for sure. and and it gets easier. I will tell you, it gets easier. And so I think that when it comes to repeating karmic cycles from lifetime to lifetime, that's a good example. If you constantly compromise your heart and what you need for your soul to make someone in the outside world happy, that is a karmic cycle you're going to carry to the next life.
Mhm.
Um, there's one theory that the twin flames are in their last lifetime.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that is one of the theories that people are very spiritual because they've lived thousands of lifetimes, and they kind of want to be done with all of these negative emotional patterns. And that to me is the motivation to not be afraid to step off the cliff. And what also oppositions do, I should say, it's like the tower. It's the universe's 2x4. So if you've been trucking along in your nice cozy little pattern in denial with Neptune and a drink in your hand, and it's time for your karmic cycle to shift, and you don't take the subtle signs, the universe will come along. A car accident is a great example. Um,
Mhm.
to get your attention, to change the energy, to make you reflect on, well, maybe this isn't working, or maybe I should have taken that job, or maybe I should have moved to that town, or whatever the decision was that was just too scary to think about. The universe, you will keep getting the same opportunities with different faces until you figure out your lesson and take that chance to grow.
Right. And hopefully, in the twin flame community, with the collective, that, the divine masculines will take that step and come to that realization, at least with this partial lunar eclipse. that
Well,
we have.
certainly, we've got a new moon and full solar eclipse in Sagittarius on Friday, December the 3rd. Now,
Hmm.
a full solar eclipse certainly will um,
Show
trigger.
light,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well,
So
hopefully
this
between
partial,
now and then, and I think that maybe, especially here in the United States, that after being with the family or whatnot and knowing
yeah,
that they're not happy with that, then they're going to come to terms and realize, what they're missing out on and what they need to do.
I'm tired of looking at the chart, so I just hit another knob. I'm not sure what I did here.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's see. Should I go back to
Yeah,
this
let's do
view?
that. I've kind of done
Okay.
the chart. You wanted to do the signs. That chart to me is about balance. There's just as much stress as there is ease, and to focus on, the good that you want to manifest. And,
Hmm.
dare to be different at the holidays. If you don't want to go to grandma's and eat, dry turkey, you're a
Hmm.
big adult now. You can do whatever you want to do. And
I have a off-topic question. So, I was gifted a turkey, and yeah, I know, right? I got lucky, but I put the turkey in the refrigerator.
mm,
Is
was it
that okay?
frozen? Was
Yeah,
it
it
frozen?
was frozen.
How many pounds is it?
It's about 10 pounds.
Pretty big.
It's big. I mean, I told him, I said, I want a young turkey, a small turkey. I don't want a big one because it's only three of us, and I'm vegan, and so I'm not going to be eating it. So it's just going to be my boys.
What
And
I've heard, and I don't do that. But what I've heard is you should let it unthaw in a refrigerator for 2 to 3 days before you cook it.
okay, well, that's good to know because I had it thawed out for 2 or 3 days. And then I asked my friend because it's been a while since I cooked a turkey. And I said, well, is it okay if I just, because it would make it easier to cook
Go ahead
by
and
next week. But
yeah.
then that's a whole week, But he says, go ahead and put it in the freezer and then take it back out. I was like, okay.
I don't know about it thawing and getting frozen again.
What?
Was it all the way unthawed? Oh, I know what you do. Call
No, so
Butterball. They
it,
they have an 800 number you can call and ask.
uh,
Yeah, yeah. Call Butterball. They'll tell you what
okay,
to do with that
I'll
turkey.
call whoever that was on the package.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I bought a little Cornish game hen, which I just did because they were on sale. But I thought, well, that would be kind of something unique to do.
I think that's fine. Your dogs be eating that thing up in one chew.
I, yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Well,
but anywho, okay, so guys, let's go ahead and I wanted to pull some cards, one for each sign, to kind of get a little bit on each one, and I think Sunny's gonna
oh, I
throw
just
some
saw your
acid.
shirt.
Oh yeah, look guys,
I love it.
yeah, Sunny
It
actually
looks
gifted
really
me
good on you.
this shirt. Thank you. I'm a conspiracy therapist. I'm here to help you guys with
Yeah,
those
yeah.
thoughts.
We're gonna pick up the pieces.
Freedom. Sorry, guys. Um, and before we get to the card pulls and the dice rolls, right? So there's a couple of things that I would like everyone to kind of be mindful of with the full moon rituals, right? And here are some of the questions that I have that I think would be beneficial along with your meditation for tonight. And the first one is, who am I? Who are you? Okay, just kind of think about that. And what do I want in this life? So, what do you want for yourself? What do you want in this lifetime? And then, what is preventing you from achieving it?
Mm, those are all
And
great questions.
yeah, so really take the time to really meditate on this. And then, what are your mental and physical limitations? So, it
Mm,
goes a little bit deeper, right? So, what are your mental thoughts on it? What are your physical limitations? And then raise your conscious awareness.
Mm.
So if you raise your consciousness, okay, and get it out of your subconscious and bring it into a state of consciousness and you're aware of these things, I feel that that's going to help you to manifest with this full moon. So it's almost as if, wanting to release some things that isn't really serving you so that you can make room to manifest the things
For the
that is for
new.
your highest and greatest good. Yeah.
Yes.
And so if you work on yourself, your situations should improve. So, just
The
take the
only thing
time.
permanent is change.
Yeah, take the time to meditate on it, journal it. And thank you. No More Lies. She actually gifted me a journal. So I'm going to use her
Ah,
journal to write those thoughts in there. And make sure you take your spiritual baths for tonight, guys. Okay. And really think about that so you can learn how to do manifestation. Okay, I think that's really important to change your mindset and to get out of those negative vibes, especially if you're connecting it to financial systems, right? Feeling lack, not having enough, or trying to maintain a lifestyle based on what people think, or maybe what you may have thought, right? We all been there and done that. So
we're
yeah,
definitely in a time in life where everything we thought is stands to be thrown up in the air and rethought.
right. Yeah, I mean, even for myself, I have to keep thinking those things too, right?
And that trine to Pluto is about a constant reinvention. And
Mhm.
the opposition to Uranus is finding new ways to do the same thing. So that's on, a global level as well as a personal level. You know,
Mhm.
it could be as simple as how you go to cook that turkey. Maybe you'll put it in a roasting bag instead of,
Well, I gotta see if it's still good to cook.
well, you can smell it. If it doesn't smell good, you know it's not right.
Then I'll have to go to the store at that point. I saw all of the turkeys. They're all jumbo sized. And that's just too much freaking turkey. I feel sorry for that bird that had to
Yeah,
die. And imagine not being able to eat it all.
my
That's my
turkey
thing.
comes sliced from the deli.
That sounds a lot better.
That'll
You
be the
know,
extent of my turkey, I think.
I think it's just before I used to have a bigger family,
Yes.
and now that it's just me and my boys,
Yes.
I don't cook the big Thanksgiving dinners anymore. I'm vegan. I don't eat the meat, so it's like it's really for my youngest son. He likes Thanksgiving. He's a turkey baby. His birthday is
Oh,
right before Thanksgiving.
oh,
Yeah, he's my butterball. And he's a Sag. So, he likes, that whole thing with turkey and pumpkin pie and all that
um,
stuff. So I just do it for him.
cranberries. I love
Yeah.
cranberries.
Yeah, he loves all that stuff, the dressing and the stuffing and all
Yeah.
that. I like all the sides.
Yeah.
I'm a side person. But anywho,
And
let's go
nibbler.
ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do some card pulls. And I guess you're gonna do some dice, right?
If you want me to. I
Or
don't know. I saw them and we had used them before on this chat. So I thought I would offer them up if you would like.
okay, yeah, sure. Just whatever. Let's see what spirit has for the collective. So I guess do you wanna, because I have a bad way of remembering. The only way I remember is by the signs that I channel for the week. So should I just lead or what?
Yes, please do.
Because I
I'm
couldn't
just
really go
warming
in
them
order.
up.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do Capricorn. Let's do that.
The old cat,
So,
the
yeah, let's see.
workaholic.
Let's see, Spirit, what do you have for Capricorn with this full moon? What does Capricorn need to know? It's personal growth.
Mm.
So it's exactly what I had mentioned. It's who are you and what is it that you want and how can you grow from the situation? This is more of a spiritual thing. Maybe doing some more meditation, connecting to your higher self, and to really work on those changes. And I think that this is a very positive change for the Capricorn. So that's what I'm seeing here so far. So what do you have, Sunny?
Jupiter and Scorpio in the 8th house. Oh, Cappy's going to be getting something.
Capricorn could use some.
Capricorn could use a little spa break.
Yes.
Spa break. Yeah.
We all need that.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So let's see. What is going on for, let's do Taurus.
Okay. That's where the moon is now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go with Taurus. Spirit, what does Taurus need to know about this full moon? It's communication and a lack thereof. So,
Pluto in Virgo in the 7th house, a lack of communication. Well, that 7th house is about relationships and marriages. Pluto in Virgo. Wow. Pluto in Virgo. That's control, power control. What am I trying to say? Power struggle.
maybe it's this communication or the lack of the communication in that dynamic.
Somebody wanting the control and the other wanting the control, and that's that struggle that doesn't get anyone anywhere.
Because I see here 2 3s, so it could be a power conflict between third-party situations.
Yeah.
Or this could be in work or even in love. Yeah.
Or family.
Yeah.
With holidays, there's so much expectation about family, and yeah.
I get it. Okay, right on. So let's go ahead and go with Virgo.
Virgo. The perfectionist.
I know. I'm a Virgo rising. Spirit, what do you have for Virgo on this full moon?
Oh, jumping.
Wow, look at this. Karmic completion.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus, like that's a shock.
Pluto in Libra in the 8th house. Yeah. Pluto in Libra in the 8th house. It's very social. That's maybe new Pluto reinventing some sort of new social activity with others.
Okay.
Or it could also mean other people's money investing in you.
So maybe Virgo, around this full moon, maybe Virgo needs to figure out how to complete those karmic cycles, dealing with social circles and money, right?
Getting off the hamster wheel.
It's you've been on it, maybe you need to end it, is what I'm feeling. And really looking at what those social circles are. Is it for your highest and greatest good? Because I have a feeling that this is in regards to stability and closing out those cycles. Something that's grounded and stable with this red Merkaba here. Yeah, and also 10. Isn't that the world card?
Yes.
Yeah.
So completion for sure.
Right. So maybe today and throughout, even in the coming weeks, like there's going to be an ending of those cycles. I'm actually shocked.
and Libra would also represent the justice system. If there's been some sort of court case or divorce case that could come to completion.
That's actually interesting because I have a feeling that some of those Virgos are actually dealing with the Libra energy.
Yes.
And it's actually next door. It's a neighboring energy also. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
What a tangled web we weave.
I know. So let's go ahead and see who's next. So let's do Pisces. So we're skipping around. Let's see. What does Pisces need to know with this full moon? Pisces and this full moon, please, Spirit.
They're just jumping out of your hands.
Yeah, physical activity.
Oh.
Yes.
At home.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is in regards to love. This is communication. Also, maybe telepathy. Thinking about moving around. Who knows? What do you have?
I have Jupiter in Virgo in the 4th house, which would be associated to the end of the matter or the mother or the home. Expanding, cleaning it out.
Okay. So maybe it's time for them to move out of those situations and they could be thinking about it. Maybe they're opening up how they're feeling about the situation. This is in regards to love and maybe the past. Also, being more spiritual
I
about
was going to
this.
say, Pisces can have a propensity towards drinking and sort of numbing themselves. So that sounds like an energy that they choose to wake up and do something more spiritual as opposed to the denial or the pushing it under the rug.
Mm-hmm. I think it's time for a change, though.
Yeah.
You should really be mindful of that, Pisces. Okay, no drinking.
And Jupiter would also be a reminder notice to possibly take some classes in something, like either expand your vocation or study a new language or area that you're interested in.
Okay, so maybe this in regards to like moving around. Maybe it's a career field where they're always walking around or doing some physical activity.
Real estate license.
Oh, that sounds good. Yes.
The home, we had the fourth house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Selling.
Okay, yeah. That's something to consider. So go ahead and start manifesting, Pisces.
Yeah. Go take your exam for some kind of license to do something else along with what you're doing to build it up
Right.
slowly on the side. Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, so if there's a Pisces in the house, maybe that's something that you guys would like to look into. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's see who's next. Cancer. What does Cancer need to know about this full moon, please, Spirit? What does Cancer need to know? Financial discipline. So yeah, watch your spending. Because I feel like
Oh my
stability.
God.
Is that what's coming out too?
I got the moon in Cancer in the 8th house. That's all about emotions about your money. How interesting. You can't make this up.
Now, because the pink color is also about manifestation. So, Cancer is thinking about like a sense of home, maybe a sense of stability, maybe their career,
The mother.
maybe about what it is that they love about maybe the money, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Awesome.
Yeah. I like that.
So let's go
Let's see
ahead
if
and
you do that again.
I know, right? Let's go ahead and go with Scorpio. So Spirit.
Oh, Scorpio.
Yeah. What does Scorpio need to know around this full
We
moon?
just need to be loved and
Yeah.
understood.
It's the environment. Being loved in the environment. Maybe this is about money and the environment. Now, I was thinking about the home, and the home costs money. Also, we have here 44, if that's
44.
significant. Yeah. So stability,
Angel.
maybe union. I feel like this is something to do with, maybe even the workplace.
Or
What do you think?
infinity. The 8.
Yeah, maybe 8th house, right?
Wow. Pluto in Libra in the 2nd house. So the 2nd house is money.
Okay.
Pluto in Libra has something to do with the justice system. It could also be reinventing some sort of social activity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe in some sort of environment. Maybe Scorpio, you need to open up.
Oh, that's very hard to ask a Scorpio to do.
I know, right? Can you please open up? Like,
please.
That's the change that they need, the North Node, right?
They're called the tortured soul,
All right. You're like, are you in my house? No, you can get out. Get out of my
what?
house. What are you doing here?
What makes you tick?
Right. No, that's actually really good. Let's see what else is going on. Who is next? Let's go ahead and do Leo.
Leo.
Ooh, look at this. There's a card that wants to come out. Oh, it's the personal growth. So yeah,
number 7.
So being more spiritual, opening up towards spirituality, working on yourself,
letting go of the ego.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I got Mars in Leo in the 3rd house.
So what does that mean?
Well, we got Leo.
Well, yeah, but Mars, but
like your
what?
card did. So Leo, Mars in Leo is getting her done. Get her done.
Okay,
And
stop
third house is
procrastinating.
communicating. So, Leo likes to lead and tends to do things on a big level. So when you're talking about the holidays coming up and doing a grand spread, a feast of food,
Mhm.
and in the third house might be communicating what I was talking about, doing what your heart wants to do, and not what the expectation of everybody around you wants
So,
you to do.
let me ask you this. You were mentioning your friend Norma.
Yeah,
Norma's a Libra.
yeah.
Are you okay? Because you said, you can, count on me and we can get together. Is that gonna go outside of what you want, or are you okay with that? Are you
Well,
really
what I
okay?
told her and what I remind myself every year is I have no traditions and I'm
Mhm.
open to a new tradition every year.
Okay,
Left
okay.
to my own druthers, I will treat it as any other day and do, housework or yard work and be around my animals. But certainly to go out to a nice dinner,
Mhm.
I'm open for that. Leo loves to eat.
Okay, yeah, like, there's some perks of it.
Because the other tradition that she was so discouraged by is the company she works for years has always done like a company party at this really nice restaurant, really expensive
Okay.
restaurant. She loves it. Well, they're not doing it this year. So she's had two
Oh,
whammies of social events that she really looks forward to and counts on. So the when she was sounding so down about her family's going to Florida and her company isn't going to do that, and these are things that she kind of banks on to plan her
mhm.
holiday. So I told her, I was like, well, I'll go to that restaurant with you if you want. I mean, it's like $80 a person to eat there. It's real nice, and
It
that's
better
not
be
something
nice,
I
no, I'm
would
playing.
do at all.
Right, like,
But
just for
certainly,
yourself.
yeah, for a special occasion, yeah,
Mhm.
with a good friend, I'm open.
Okay,
I have to
sounds
start
good.
saving my money now, though, to be able to afford it.
Well, yeah, with how the market is looking and,
Yeah, save our little duckies.
where's that paycheck, you know?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, let's see, let's go ahead and do Aries. What is going on with Aries?
The Ram.
I know. So Aries is, also
Mhm.
that Mars energy. So there's a synchronicity,
Oh,
um, that you need to be mindful of. This is in regards to manifesting your desires. So maybe you're in alignment to manifest something that you want in love, maybe some kind of desire, and you're doing this through your mind.
and
That's
it's
what I'm getting. That or, maybe the work or a career situation, but this is actually a really good turn of events. That's what I'm seeing.
maybe an opportunity presented.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Jupiter in Cancer in the seventh house. So Aries would be definitely focused more towards relationships and marriage and partnerships, and
Mhm.
possibly with a foreign element or foreign person being in Jupiter,
Mhm.
and certainly around the home or mother with Cancer.
Mhm. Okay.
Aries, I would think, might feel pressured to want to either travel or be at home with mom, maybe.
I feel that too. I feel like there's like some several events that are opportune for Aries. That's what I'm
And
feeling.
synchronicity would mean the universe,
Is lining things up
yeah,
for.
that you follow your instinct, you follow the signs that you feel resonate when you see them. I love
Mhm.
that movie, Field of Dreams. And he'd sit there and a sign would go by on the bus and it would just like click his idea of building a baseball field out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah. You
yeah,
know what? My teacher was in that, movie.
that's a cool movie about when it
Yeah.
comes to spirit speaking to you through signs and you following them, even though everybody around you says you're nuts, but it manifests. And that's kind of that full card of walking off the cliff. even if you don't see where you might land. Having
Well,
faith.
overall, it's pretty good. So I have a feeling that they're going to be traveling to see
Yeah.
family. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's going on with Sag.
Dear Sag, we're almost to their time of the year.
I know. No more lies. You say Aquarius. You're last, honey. I still have to do Aquarius's horoscope reading for the week. So let's see what is going on with Sag. Please, Spirit. What does Sag need to know with this moon?
So the sun enters Sag this Sunday, the 21st.
Okay, I see her teaching
It's
and
upside
learning.
down.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
So they need to learn something, or maybe learn something
What does it
that
say? Teaching
yeah,
and
teaching and
learning.
learning.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
Maybe I feel like maybe they need to be a student. Maybe there's something that they're not getting. Also, this is a lack of communication and being blocked with the downloads. So I have a feeling that they're not seeing something that is being shown to them. That's what it feels to me. Also, there has to be a level of change, and it's a very stubborn energy, very Taurus kind of like.
So, yeah.
But anywho, what do you have?
The moon in Virgo in the third house. So that is learning something about communicating, and sometimes Virgo will kind of put itself in a corner because it's not perfect enough. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I feel like that's why this thing came out in reverse. Instead of really learning it, that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
That's kind of like sticking with the familiarity of the South Node instead of reaching for the North Node.
Right. So, Sag, really be open towards new experiences or whatever's being, shown to you. Don't just push it away. Like, be open to it, because I feel like there's something you need to learn from that situation. Right.
I've had a rash of Sagittarian charts lately. It's kind of weird. And there's a consistency in just that message. That you might be hearing something you're unsure about following, to trust your inner voice and follow it.
That's a good one. Yeah, because I feel like they're blocking their intuition by being stubborn.
Very interesting how this stuff works, isn't it?
Okay, so let's go ahead and see who is next. Gemini. Let's do Gemini.
The twins.
Yes. So, Spirit, what does Gemini need to know?
Air, ruled by Mercury. Intelligence.
What is going on with Gemini? I'm not feeling it. Let's see, Gemini, please, Spirit. Gemini, are you stubborn today? Hello, Gemini.
They are searching.
You lost? You need advice? Look at this. I have two.
Oh, well, that's apropos.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, come on. We have here physical activity, and also it's the financial discipline. So they have a double thing over here. So maybe it's time for you to be more financially disciplined, is what I'm saying, together. Yeah. Time for you to do that manifestation if you really want to be stable, and you have to work for it. You have to really be proactive and possibly not be in your head, is what I'm getting. Like, really, really be proactive and manifest this financial abundance. That's what I'm getting.
Make a commitment. Pluto in Libra in the 11th house. Gemini, the 11th house in Libra. That's true love.
Oh, beautiful.
Deep, spiritual, lifetime after lifetime soul love.
You know what? I had a very positive reading for Gemini today. It was actually the most positive I've seen from Gemini in a long time.
This 1 degree North Node in Gemini tonight with the partial lunar eclipse is very significant.
Well, maybe perhaps Gemini, and that's what I channeled earlier. Now that I'm remembering, like Gemini, your financial situation was a lot better, more stable than I've seen before in the past. Before it was a little bit, whatever. But today I did see that it was stable, and their person is actually stepping up and being more mature in communicating, and maybe you guys are gonna get it on or something. Like, is that what's going on for my Geminis?
I can only hope. Think
No,
positive.
they will, right? It is going to happen. So let's go ahead and see who's next. Libra.
I had 2 Gemini brothers, and they couldn't have been more different.
Oh,
One
yeah.
was born May 27th, and one was June 8th, and they were 2 totally different people.
Oh, interesting. It's possibly because they're
Yeah.
placements, right?
Yeah.
Other placements.
But they had that consistent sort of searching energy, always disseminating information or searching for information.
For me, I believe Geminis, they're like a sponge. They like absorb all kinds of information, and they know everything. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's
Yeah.
like, even like the randomest like stuff that nobody knows. It's like, well, how the heck did you know that? It's like,
Jack
no.
of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
love Gemini's energy. They're like,
Yeah.
and they're funny too. They're kind of quirky, but I
Yeah.
love their energy. So let's see. For Libra, what is going on with you? Ooh, love partnership, but it came up in reverse. Like it flew out and then it went down that way. I'm sorry. Yeah. So what I'm getting here is that maybe the sacral chakra is not like what it's cracked out to be, but it's possible because you're not with the person that you want to be with. I did Libra's reading today also. And for the majority of my Libras, y'all are in a marriage or relationship that you're not happy in, and there's somebody else out there that you want to be with. And you want to make this decision in love, and you want to work on it, but is the other person wanting to do the same? I feel like that's something for you to kind of, really tap into. That's what I'm seeing here. What do you have?
Libra really, they really like that social side. Oh, here we go. North Node in Leo in the 5th house. So, yeah, right on. That is wanting a love affair or having a fated encounter with someone.
Not that they're
Yeah,
with.
this is about more of an affair than like a permanent relationship.
Yeah, it's someone they're not with.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Libra.
something on the
Yeah, but
side, maybe. Here
yeah,
we
I
go with
know.
those value systems again, right? Because isn't it
Yeah.
kind of a thing with Europeans that European men, I mean, European women just accept that European men have women on the side. Like that's almost like, of course, you're married and have your girlfriend across town or whatever.
Yeah. So Libra,
There's a lot of European men here in America.
well, Americans practice that too.
It seems to be a central theme around that Plutonian value systems. Like everybody's sort of evaluating, what are your values about X, Y, and Z, or, who you're with. If you're in conflict, it's probably because of some difference of a value. Like, should money be saved or invested? Should money be spent? Because, I mean.
Well, I think there's pros and cons to every thing, every sign. So
and maybe value systems change throughout your life too. I mean, with experience.
yeah, there's a season and for a reason,
Yeah.
I know I was different in my younger years.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the last
Remember my younger years.
mine was a blur. I remember, but I'm not going to disclose what I was like in my younger
I don't
years.
really remember.
I was a baddie. Anyway.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, well, it was after a certain
Who are
point.
we doing now?
We're doing Aquarius. This is the last
Aquarius.
one. Like, oh, so I got two things. It's perseverance,
Mm.
and this one came kind of like sideways downwards. Compassion. I have a feeling that you've been
Hmm.
really persevering through a situation, and you're starting to lose your compassion towards your sense of stability. It could be money, it could be love. I feel like you're tired. I feel like you've been really like sticking it through, and you kind of like lost it. It's like you're still hanging in there, but you kind of lost the compassion. That's what I have.
So, ruled by Uranus, and the planet Uranus runs hot and cold. For a lot of Aquarian people, they do relationships that way. They can be very hot and they can be
Hmm.
very detached, and that makes them difficult to understand. But once you understand that's part of their nature, you're cool. And we've got North Node in Taurus in the third house for Aquarius. So that is certainly expressing something you're afraid to express, but you're going to. That's that sort of hot cold. Like,
So, but that could be the reason why I had pulled out the two cards or it flopped out. I
yeah,
feel like maybe what it's hard to express is that they kind of lost the compassion. Maybe let's say towards their twin.
yeah,
They've endured,
detachment.
yeah, they endured it for a long time. They want a sense of stability, and they don't know if they can end this or not. And maybe they have to have that talk.
They have unconventional relationships for the most part. Those
Got
might
it.
be the ones with very, you know, 20-year differences in their age, or distance, cultural distance differences. So they have generally unconventional relationships in general.
Hmm.
North Node in Taurus. So we had that North Node along with our Taurus moon tonight in the third house of communication. So this eclipse will definitely trigger some sort of, I would say, unexpected communication.
So it might be heated, kind of, maybe.
Yeah, like heated and then detached. They are very, you know, changeable. It's
In and out.
electricity, right?
Yeah, you're bobbing and weaving. It kind of
Yeah,
reminded me of like they were
yeah,
boxing and stuff. Like, what, motherfucker?
yeah, yeah, something
I'm
like
gonna knock your ass out.
that. One of my astrologer friends a long time ago, she was a lot older than the rest of us, and she was so Aquarian and so quirky. You had to love her, but she could be real difficult to deal with, because she could be so warm and engaging, and then she
Hmm.
just detach and be gone for a month.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's like you just had to recognize that that's her nature, and when she needed to detach and go, you let her go, and then she'll come back and just be as warm and fuzzy and friendly. So it's a very, I had
Hot
a
and
neighbor
cold.
who was Aquarian too, and he was that same way. Like, he could be real friendly to us, or just never speak to you. I mean, it just was
It's
the,
kind of like, the Aquarius is like the friendly person. You can
yes,
have like long bouts of like separation or drought. I call it drought.
yeah,
But then when they come back, they're
they're
all
just as
friendly,
warm. Yeah,
and they act like, they've known you for years.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. But you can't kind of hate them because they're so
They rule the
friendly.
occult and esoteric, so their minds are in different dimensions, which is a lot
Mm.
of why we don't see them in the lines of our three-dimensional social mores, so to speak.
I think I have one placement of Aquarius somewhere in my chart, but I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't really
You want
resonate
me to
with
look it
Aquarius.
up?
Later, honey, later, not now.
I'm always hesitant to share anybody's chart information unless they want it
I mean,
shared.
like, no, it doesn't have to be now. It's okay. We can pass. So that's what I have, um, for today, guys. So I hope you guys really enjoyed it. That's Aquarius, honey. Yeah. So before I let you all go, I do want to mention, okay, I have my teas.
Mm.
Okay, so I had mentioned about my teas. I have them in tea tins now, and I have it in all the flavors that I have. I think I have 6 different flavors, up to six, seven,
And they
eight.
are delicious. I've had them myself.
Well, thank you, honey. Yeah, I've been drinking all my tea too. So if you guys want some tea and you're looking for stocking stuffers or
Yeah,
ideas of, you can go ahead and get these. They're generally about like $2 a tin, so it's not that much. And I think I have it in sets if you want to get it in a set. So it's really up to you. I actually have it in test tubes also if you want it in a test tube. So there's different ways of maybe giving a gift to someone who likes tea. And it comes with a tea ball infuser while supplies last. How's that?
sounds great.
Yes. And guys, don't forget I do have my spiritual box. I don't know if I have it here. So I have my spiritual box, guys, and so it's everything is on sale on my website. So if you go to my website, you can get everything is marked down. I believe 10% off, and all the personal readings that I have is on sale too. And also Sunny also has I believe it's been an ongoing sale, right?
Yeah,
Sunny has a sale on her website also. And so if you guys want to get an astro chart done, go ahead and get it now, guys.
I'd love to do it. Yeah,
Yeah, and kind of see like what the energies are like, so that like moving forward in 2022,
yeah.
what to expect. Maybe it's going to be helpful information to kind of help, I
If
guess give
nothing
you some
else, it's
insight.
fun.
Oh yeah, like
Have a few laughs.
yeah, and yeah, I've had several reports done by Sunny, and I enjoy every one of them. She
Thank
always,
you.
puts a lot of effort into explaining some of those energies. But yeah, you should definitely go ahead and give her a shot and get that chart done. As a matter of fact, I even asked her about a situation. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And
The
yeah.
crazies have been coming out of the woodwork this week with like neighbors and just in the area. It's not anything to do with work really, but it's just been a really chaotic week, and so I'm a little behind, but I'm caught up now, and I'll spend the weekend doing some more charts.
Okay, sounds awesome. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching.
Thank
And
you,
again,
yes, for having me. I
yeah,
always enjoy this very much.
it's always a pleasure. I always enjoy listening to your interpretation with the moon energies. And thank you for being here for the collective.
Thank you for having
Yes,
me. I really appreciate it. It's a win-win for all of us.
yes, it is. It
Yes.
is. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
So I hope you all, take your spiritual baths, do the manifestation, make sure you cleanse your space. Okay. And
Wherever
guys,
you
I
turn, yeah.
haven't been like advertising it, but I have sage wands. I have a whole crap load of different wands. I have Shasta sage, I have juniper, I have all kinds of different
I love my
sage.
feather wand. It's downstairs, but it's beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you, honey.
I love
Yes.
that.
I have my feather wand is back there somewhere.
Yes, I love that. It's so neat.
Yes,
You're
thank
very
you.
talented,
Well,
and
thank you, honey.
I think
Thank
I've
you.
tried just about everything you have, and I highly recommend all of it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone who purchases items from me. It makes me happy, and I like to be creative. So if you guys want to support me with my creativity, please take a look at my
Absolutely.
website.
Absolutely.
So, let's see here. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Sunny is great. I love
Oh,
my natal chart. Oh, okay.
oh,
Um, yes. Sunny says thank you.
I never know. I mean, I ask I try to keep the door open for people to give me feedback, and then a lot of times I never. I haven't done. I've done a couple of charts for like 35-year-old men lately, which is kind of weird because men usually
No,
try
go ahead. This is
to.
what I've noticed that there's a lot of men who actually purchase the extended readings from me, but they're reluctant to actually do a personal. Now, I know I have a few men in this chat who do book readings with me, but I've noticed that there's a lot more guys who are more comfortable purchasing the extendeds
That's
than
interesting.
yeah, I'm just putting y'all out there, but the men are out there looking
I can
for
probably count the
advice.
number of men I've read for in the years very easily, but lately it's through work. I'll know someone through work, and I'll say, check out my website, and yeah. But one I did hear from that said it was kind of eerie how it read him. One I haven't heard from. So when you don't hear from him, you're like, oh no, I said something offensive. But I try not to filter. I don't think it does anybody any good to
Well,
gloss over things. You
how
have to.
about doing a disclaimer? Uh, Miss Sunny does not filter her readings.
Yeah.
Please use your discernment.
Maybe Scorpio here.
Yeah,
As
please let me
truthfully as
explain. Like,
gently as I can, but sometimes you just gotta,
well,
hear.
let me know if you want me to put that disclaimer just so that they know what they're getting themselves into. And guys, if you have booked a reading with her, please send her some feedback, and I
Yeah,
will help you to put those testimonials on your website to kind of show people what other
yeah.
people have said. So,
I have to start uploading some. I used to have antique shops, and I have a lot of antique things that I'd like to sell.
okay.
So I'm a lot of jewelry, a lot of old
Well,
jewelry.
honey, you were talking about selling art and all this and
I
that,
I
get
need
it
to get
organized
it.
and
I think all I need to do is figure out uploading the photos from my phone to the website.
okay. Well, I would say upload it to like a drive account or even your email and
Yeah,
then get it to your computer because doing that all on your cell phone may take a long time and it's too small. So
right.
I would transfer your photos to your computer and then do it
And
that way.
upload.
Mhm.
It's bubbling. I'm getting closer.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm here to support you, honey.
I know you are. You do a great job. I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you, thank you. Let's see what else is going on over here. You just joined the chat. You checked out the free chart online. Everything is like in one corner. Oh, I don't know what that
Okay.
is.
So so there are chart patterns when
Mhm.
you are looking at a natal chart. So if you have a cluster of everything in one quadrant, it would probably speak to that part of the chart being a dominant part of your life path. It doesn't mean that you won't have, the home, marriage, family, job quadrant. Especially if it's up in the 11th, 12th house quadrant, you're an old soul with many lifetimes, because that's all about past lives. So um, it doesn't really, every chart's like a fingerprint.
Mhm.
So and the key is trying to have as accurate as a time of day you were born, because that's really what predicates being able to look at progressions for the coming year. Or I mean, we can use estimated dates, but that can throw off some of the timing,
And
like
possibly kind of like the more accurate,
it is connected to months, days, years. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's funny. It's funny how astrology's been perceived over the years, and so I just hope to be here for anyone that would like to learn more about the language. And the man, he actually does some yard work for me, and he wanted his chart done, and when I was doing it, I kind of felt like I was, I just kind of felt like he was settling in life, and he has so much potential for like inventing things or patents, and but he'd been through a rough spot, and I think just felt sort of downtrodden. And so when he got the chart, he sent me a text. He was getting on a plane to actually come out to Oregon for Thanksgiving to be with
Is
his
he
family.
cute? I'm playing.
Yeah, he is. He's about your age too.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm okay with you.
So anyway, I got really positive feedback that made me feel good, because it's sort of what I've noticed it helps people do is you have your intuition and you have your feelings and thoughts. And when a
Mhm.
chart can say da 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 da, and I know nothing about you or what I'm saying, I'm just
Right.
reading a language. And if it confirms for something in you, in your heart, that you didn't really think you should do, but here you've got, some esoteric chart saying your potential is this, it does help someone have the confidence to, I am going to do that book, or I am going to do that patent, or I am going to do that new job, or whatever. What I've noticed in astrology is it just tries to confirm what you are already feeling inside.
Right. No,
Cards too, tarot
that's why
cards.
I like getting those charged with you rather than getting like
Or just like what we did tonight, where your cards reflected the dice. That's a psychic energy. That's something we don't see or understand, but there is a vibration there. So
mhm,
it's esoterics. Yay.
the whole metaphysical.
And metaphysical. Yes.
So, oh, okay, Christy, she wanted to know what the website was. Christy, it's lionmountainhealing.com.
Thank you, because you did it and it's wonderful.
Well, thank you, honey. There's more to add, so keep
Yes.
tracking back, guys. Okay,
Yes.
we're
Yes.
gonna
Work
enhance
in
on.
progress.
Christy lives in Oregon. She-
Oh, well, let's see.
well, do you need your yard worked on, or?
Let's see. Let me see if I can figure out the name of the town.
Oh, okay.
Forgive me if you're watching and I'm sharing personal. I won't
Because
share a name. How about
now he's
that?
a
I'll keep the
commodity.
name.
Like, look, I'm just like fluffing my hair up just in case.
Yeah, he is cute. That's for sure. Let's see. Oregon, my home in Oregon. Oh, it doesn't say what town.
That's okay. We'll know
I did
next
tell him to
time.
tune into you, so he'll reach out to you. Maybe we
Okay.
could try. Oh, you know what?
What?
I did find, where did I set them? I did find, remember me talking about the Mercury hour during the way people used to communicate to each other before the internet? Where did I set them? Because I was like, oh, I'm going to show somebody the Mercury hour. But you know what was in there? Were Astro Twins. And I had completely forgotten about this, but like there was a way to connect people because of similarities in their chart, and they were called Astro Twins. So, maybe we could do a little like, what did I want? I wanted to say, I don't want to say a dating game. I don't want to say a dating site, but I don't know, hooking people up
The stars?
with their charts and connections. I don't know what I'm thinking there, but
Okay, no,
anyway.
so, I guess, like, when we're off camera, we can discuss it, and I'll give you some ideas of how
Yeah.
we could play with that. Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure for my collective, some of them are open towards dating other people than their twin, just to kind of, test the
Live their
waters.
life. Yeah.
Enhance their, spiritual journey.
Get out of your misery, right?
Get out of him, Christy. You're watching a live. Oh, Christy is in Eugene, just in case.
Okay.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I can't
So,
wait to see if he's seen this to know that he's got like some interest out there.
And we don't even have a picture. Like
I don't know. You just have to use your imagination. A
we're all
strong,
psychics over
scrappy,
here.
Sag Scorp type. How about that?
Yeah. So No More Lies is talking about what about the 13th sign?
Yeah, what about that?
I don't know anything about 13th sign. What is that?
Well, you're asking the wrong person because I go by the KISS method, which is keep it simple, sugar.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's when I was bringing up the Mercury hour and Edie Custer talking about, you can make a chart look like pizza if you get too much going on in it. That's right up there with the speculation that we're in a simulation and the earth is flat with some kind of dome and we're not part of a galaxy of planets. I mean, that's just more speculation about what is it all about, Alfie. I will share something that was shocking to me, and I really don't even like talking about it, but I do think we're in times when we need to be open-minded about shocking things that we may find out. Last new moon, it should have been dark. New moons are dark, and it was a crescent moon. So when we're talking about, are we actually changing how we keep time and taking back that 10 days that was taken 200 or 300 years ago? I'm questioning everything right now. So I wouldn't be, there's plenty of stuff out there about there more than the planets in our galaxy. I was reading something yesterday about the black hole, and then today something came up in my feed about the Bermuda Triangle. So these are all what I consider esoteric mysteries that I don't have any answers for. I can only say be open-minded and flexible to what you might see or hear and use your discernment and go by that feeling, Does it feel real to you? Or do you get kind of a feeling, So first voice when you ask yourself that. I don't know. I wish I knew the answer.
No, it's okay.
Sometimes I think that everything I thought I know is just not so. And
Yes,
we're
and
learning
I
all
think
kinds of new things.
I think that's everyone. That's not just,
It's the nature of our times, isn't it? Which one? Sometimes during the day it's very exciting, and sometimes during the day it's very stressful.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep excited.
Right.
That like just the change of banking systems. Anything that makes things more secure and less open to manipulation by, people with not so good ethics is a good thing, but it might be a little painful to get through it, or it might change our routine of how we see it. Yeah. We might be going down a rabbit hole.
Well, I think we are this weekend.
Yeah. Alice in Wonderland.
That's okay. Yeah. Bring out your cosplay outfits, guys, okay?
Do you have one?
I actually bought my son a pirate outfit. That's what he wanted for his birthday. So I got the hook, I got the hat, I got the eye patch. I think he has kind of like the clothing already.
Neat.
Yeah, so he's all about being the pirate.
Neat.
So, me, I just had that wig wherever I had that.
And that's a wig.
Yeah.
That's not just any wig.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. So that's all I have. I'm getting famished. I'm starving. I'm hungry. I'm getting the shakes.
I'm hearing animals rustle downstairs.
Oh, at least you have this. I want that next. I want to manifest some dogs too.
Yeah. They're crazy.
They are.
I love them, but sometimes they drive me crazy.
Oh, but at least
very stubborn.
Keep the energy alive somewhere.
Yes. One of them's very busy. Very, very busy. Very busy. Constant curiosity.
Is it Mojo or is it?
Would be Leon. Leon Russell.
Leon?
Yeah.
Really?
Leon Russell is a very busy guy. Yeah. Very curious, very busy.
Mm.
Yeah. But you know, naming him Leon Russell has kept that music alive because you can't believe how many people have never heard of him. And
Mhm.
when I say my dog's name is Leon Russell and they look him up, I mean, he had some fabulous music and he was a very unique rock and roller from the day because he exited the industry when he found popularity and went back to dives because he just didn't want to be in the, you know,
Mainstream.
yeah. And
Yeah, I personally like the dive bars.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
kinda interesting, like, once you go big, it's like you lose the connection to your audience,
yeah.
and
All the
so it
commercialism and everything.
yeah, but maybe he I don't know, maybe you have to look into his chart and see what type of person he was too.
I saw him about 5 years ago. He was 72 years old.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it was just like, you know, he was 25 again. I mean, he sat and played his piano and sang for a couple hours, and his voice to me sounded the same as it always had. And but when he got up from the piano, he was crippled and with
Oh,
a cane, and he died like a year or two later. So I feel really grateful that I was able to see him before he died. And now I'm just like, um, well, Leon is the Greek name for lion.
mhm.
So this little dog kind of has a goatee like a lion and a big head, you know, and
Yeah, he got a big head.
yeah, he's got a big head and like little head, you know, like a lion, you know, big
Mhm,
shoulders
mhm.
and head and little through the body. And but yeah, very curious. And the little rescue mojo, he's a lot smaller than
Leon.
yeah, at the same age. And I guess he's out of the woods. I don't know. It was quite traumatic going through that with him. So whenever he doesn't like want to eat or is not acting active, I get kind of like that. What is that?
Anxiety.
Yeah. So, but I think it's just been change in the cold weather, and maybe he's not a cold weather dog because he's yeah.
My dad said it was in the 70s down there.
I think, let's see, where are we? Friday. I think it was close one day, but at night it's been getting like 40 and below.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, he said the weather is kinda bipolar-ish on the East
it
Coast.
is. It
Like,
is.
it'll be hot and then you'll get cold. He's like, "Dang." He says, "Well, it's 70 degrees over here." I was like, "Well, lucky you."
What is it to where you are?
Right now, it's 44 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Is
cold.
it? I'm at
But
38 degrees.
yeah, but see, I've noticed down south, it gets colder down there. You get the bone-chilling cold down there.
The
Up
wind.
here yeah, up here, it's constant. It's just a constant cold weather. So it doesn't get really bone chilling. It gets, frosty, but it's not like down south. That it's so weird. I don't know. I think it's like the El Nino, how it just
Oh, right, right.
I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but that's what it seems like. Cause I was like, you know what? Down south, it's like very similar temperatures, but you guys would get the warm weather, but you get the really cold weather too. But up
There's
here,
an
it's like constant.
there's an astrologer, and I'm assuming she still practices in Michigan, named Susan Manuel. And the only kind of astrology she really does is weather patterns. And she had like all kinds of seminars about how to watch weather patterns through the movements of the planets. And it was very interesting. And
Mhm.
Uranus was all about those cold, chilling, or oppositions for like hurricanes or tornadoes. I'd have to look at that again, but I remember it was fascinating how she did weather forecasting through astrology.
Interesting.
Heliocentric, which
Oh, okay,
means,
yeah.
yeah, it means you're reading right where the planets are now. You're
Mhm.
not taking like the natal chart where they were reborn and progressing them. So there's all different categories of astrology. You could never ever learn it all. That's why I've loved it all my life because I always learned something new.
I always wanted to learn it, but to me, it's just too much. I'd rather go to somebody like yourself who already has learned it, and then you can just regurgitate it and
I just really love it. I just really do. I learn something new every time I look at a chart, and I'm always in awe of how how it's just a language that expresses things that sometimes nothing else can express.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I like you guys. If you haven't already, go ahead and check her out, lionmountainhealing.com.
Thank you.
Her insight has always been very helpful to me. I always compare it to my personal readings, and I'm like, this is what I've been channeling. Like, what do you
Yeah,
have? Like,
I know. Or just like you just pulled cards and I was doing dice. Isn't that weird how it's
it's all like,
weird?
yeah,
Yeah.
correlating with one another. Like,
They say
okay.
that, we're moving into more times that are more Atlantean, where are more intuitive. And,
Hmm.
I think that might be why men are coming out for more psychic types of activities, because they're discovering their intuition and not so like 3D.
3D.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too. Even my twin, like a long time ago, we were separated by distance, continents. Even he was in Japan, and obviously I was here in the United States, and he would know when I was moody and upset, and he would tell me, stop being like that. And I didn't even say anything, because obviously through text messaging you can't notice someone's feelings, because I didn't even vocalize how I was feeling, but he knew. And I looked at, how do you know this? I was like,
Just
oh
too
my God.
vulnerable. Right.
Like, how do you, like, so I knew, but I didn't know this because my twin is a Pisces moon. So that could be like the connection there. But I was
Empathy.
like, yeah, so he's actually very intuitive. But then, obviously with the whole liquor drinking and, things like that would get in the way. But aside from that, when he's, kind of like leveled up, he's very in tune. And I've
Right.
noticed that about him, but obviously I don't tell him everything because I keep a lot of intel to myself.
Right.
But yeah, I've noticed that about my twin personally.
Well, I don't even know that it's gender specific. I think just part of human nature is sometimes when you start feeling too vulnerable or intimate, it is scary. And that's that backing back to the south node. We're
Mhm.
here to grow to our north node and stretch into experiences that are not familiar, but that's the struggle sometimes. Is I'm going to stay where it's familiar, and even though it might not be the greatest thing, it feels safe, instead
Mhm.
of taking the risk for something that is totally unknown. And I call it a crisis in faith. I don't think that the universe presents something in your path and would just leave you hanging. I
Well, that's why this partial lunar eclipse is here. Hopefully the masculines can figure it out this time around, right?
It's very emotional, especially for a Taurus Scorpio. That axis is what's most affected this weekend, and that can be extremely spiritual.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what we have an opposition between Uranus and Mars. You might have some disputes happening over how to cook the turkey.
I get it. I think I'm already there.
I've already kind of seen it just with, people around work, disputing like where they're going to go for the holidays, or, you know what I mean? Just the
Mhm.
disruption. People
It's like
like to,
you already can see it happening,
yeah,
right? You know it's coming.
yeah. I live that way. So I just try to stay as flexible as possible, because the rug's been pulled out from under me so many times. I don't know,
Going with
conditioned
it.
to not really rely on anything anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Alright.
it can be as comfortable or uncomfortable as you choose, right? If you embrace it, then it's all good. If you want to deny it, it's okay. You'll just keep going through that same pattern. Round and round we
Right.
go. What's that? What's that dance? Oh, round and round we go. I don't know.
Is that
I'm
line dance?
digressing.
It's been a while for me. I'm like desensitized to any kind of
Do-si-do, I think
public.
is what I was thinking.
Oh, dose. Oh no.
I think I need more
Honey,
coffee.
I need to eat. Like, So I guess we'll just cut it off here.
Thank
So
you so much. I have so much fun with you on these
me
chats, and I
too. I
hope
always
that
like
your
talking to
audience
you.
gets something positive out of it.
Yeah, I hope so too, guys. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Shabaka, for being here, and everyone else that's here in the chat. And we'll see you guys next time. All
Yes,
right.
indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.